And so we begin. Let's check out what's over here, though. Let's check the other side of the building before I could forget about it entirely. Might be a few things to start here. Hello. Oh, this place looks crowded. Hey, it's another L-Core. And it's just some random diplomat. Oh, codex entry, randomly grabbed from something.
I can't believe I landed a job here. This place is fantastic.
This place is fantastic. Everything looks the same. Oh yeah, leveling up from clicking on computers. Hey! This is actually a neat thing to see. So that's casual wear for a Turian, apparently. Still trying to figure out what the fuck they're shaped like. Seriously. They gotta have like a whole like insectoid carapace thing going on, right? Because like that's a bizarre shape. Previously, you could have been like, that's a weird suit of armor he's got, but now that's just a guy wearing like fabric, and he still looks like a Venezuela with fins sticking out of the top. They're really odd creatures.
Human, delighted, welcome. It is good to meet you.
Hey, you didn't start off by saying delighted welcome, human. It is good. You didn't start off with the right statement. You broke L-Core law. They're going to shoot you out back for that. Oh, that's how it got in here. I remember getting slightly nostalgic by the way that the frame rate loses its mind when you go through doors around here because it's loading and unloading entire chunks of places sometimes. So this looks like it's a diplomat bar, basically.
This place seems strange. Wish there were more humans around.
Not racist at all.
What do you want? Oh, Commander. Is there something I could do for you?
Relax, Private. This isn't an inspection.
Right, sorry. What can I do for you, Commander?
What can you tell me about the Asari consort?
Well, she's an Asari who works here that is, she helps people with things.
You never went to see her, did you, Fredericks?
No, I never did. I couldn't afford it. It costs half a year's credits just to go in and talk to her.
Can you at least tell me where I can find her?
Sure. She's across the bridge from the embassies.
Thanks, kid. Have fun. Try not to get into too much trouble.
Now we have multiple characters referring to some consort over and over again. Whoever she is, her reputation gets around.
I don't have time to talk now. I'm very busy.
You're busy, but you're named. So much like Tyranny and a bunch of other games we're playing, the fact that she's named must mean that we're gonna have a reason to talk to her sooner or later.
Hello, Commander. Can I get you something?
What have you got?
Information, mostly. Would you like to know about some points of interest nearby?
What's going on around here?
Well, you found the embassies, not much going on here. Across the bridge, you'll find the bank, the Emporium, and Shaira's. If you haven't heard of her, you soon will. If you need supplies, you can try the markets one level below. For entertainment, I'd try Flux or Cora's Den.
Yeah, no joke, dude. Everyone's talking about Shaira around here.
What is Shaira's?
The consort, she entertains clients who can afford her services. Most of the diplomats and ambassadors have visited her at one time or another. She's a very powerful woman, but also very respected.
Tell me about Flux and Cora's Den.
Well, Flux has gambling and dancing, certainly more lively than this place. Cora's Den, on the other hand, well, let's just say it's livelier and deadlier, all at the same time.
Goodbye.
So long, Commander.
So there's two competing entertainment locations, one of which is more sleazy than the other one is. So these guys are everywhere. I think that's the third one I've found already. And we haven't even left the diplomat location. Did you have a name? Oh, I thought you had a name. No? Thought I walked by him with something. That's fine. That's more or less the... Oh, right. Executor Palin. I believe he runs CSEC.
Commander Shepard, I didn't expect to see you here. Did Ambassador Udina send you?
Have we met before?
No, but I know you well enough. I'm Executor Palin, head of CSEC. It's my job to know when someone like you arrives on the Citadel. Was there something you needed, Commander?
I get the feeling you're not too fond of humans.
No, I just don't trust your kind. Not yet. You humans are eager to take all the power you can get, and you're being given a lot. If the Council wants to make humanity their new favorite pet, that's their business. But I don't have to like it.
Tell me about CSEC.
CSEC provides necessary police and security services throughout the Citadel. We're a civilian government agency, though many of our members have had military training. Of course, as the CSEC representative to the Council, I spend most of my time liaising between the two.
Tell me about your investigation into Saren.
Sorry, Commander. I don't make a habit of giving out details about ongoing investigations.
What do you know about the Spectres?
They're the right hand of the Council, or so they like to be called. More like the underhanded side of the Council.
What do you have against the Spectres?
I can't abide any organization that considers itself above the law. Especially when it's left up to each individual Spectre to decide when and how to bend the rules.
I'll be going now.
Goodbye, Commander.
So if you haven't figured it out yet and you're new to this, the way that the Mass Effect dialogue wheel generally works is that there's left and a right sides of the wheel. The left side is generally investigation type things. You can ask a question, get an answer to the question, and it'll generally loop back around to where you were before. That's why investigations often on the left, or a series of investigation style things will be on the left. If investigation on the left, it usually just means that they have more. You can ask more questions than they could have fit on the left side of the screen, so they make it investigations first, and then use the full wheel for the questions instead. Meanwhile, if you pick anything on the right side of the screen, that's going to progress the conversation, so you're going to go to the next stage, basically, or even end of the conversation. So it's actually a really nice system. In fact, it works very well. The part where they truncate your messages and and sometimes you're not entirely sure what you're going to get as a result, those parts are iffy. But the left and right part of the wheel, that's all pretty good. Diplomatic advisory warning. The following messages were transmitted from an untraceable account on multiple recipients across the extranet. Further monitoring of the situation is warranted. My fellow biotic, you have been selected to receive this transmission because of our shared plight. Few understand us. Fewer tolerate us. We must stand together. We must build our own new world. Come, join us in the Hawking Eda cluster. Only as one body can we right the wrongs done to our kind. So you get clues here and there to what are basically side quests out in the galaxy. Of all the Mass Effect games, and maybe even all the BioWare games, this game has the weakest side content on average. So this is the one game where I'm most likely to skip some of it in particular, because some of it is literally just go to a barren planet, drive around a little bit to a spot, talk to a thing, or shoot a thing, and they even reuse assets in a pretty glaring way for some of it. So it's rather optional, but I'll do all the side content I do on the main mission. I'll definitely do all the side content that shows up during main missions, and I'll probably do all the side content that shows up here on the Citadel, which is where all the good side content generally is. But there's some planet-to-planet stuff that's rather iffy. Do you have dialogue? Nope, just some dude. But yeah, on top of the left and right dynamic between the things, by the way, that's a fast travel thing. That's handy. It's bad idea to use it now, because I don't know where I am. But you'll see these are all the things that they talked about here before. Oh, I actually can't go to any of them yet. I can only go to the Citadel Tower. Well, as I go around, I don't know if I have to unlock them manually, or if I think maybe just after I finish this first meeting at the tower it might open up, but you can go to every named location via these control panels. I don't recommend it, because at least at first I don't recommend it, because just figuring out the layout of this place is kind of important if you want to get anything done. And a lot of the side content is hidden in the passageways between the fast travel points, then you would end up skipping straight past it without ever knowing to even look for it there. There's a lot of curves around everywhere. Yep, there's a whole lot of level around here. So on top of the left and right part of the dialogue wheel, there's also a top and bottom part, where top is the pair. Oftentimes, if there is any emotion to be garnered behind the options, generally the top one is a paragon option, the middle one is a neutral one, and the bottom one is a renegade option. So you'll often see more abrasive options on the bottom of the wheel, both for investigation and for progressing the conversation, with more nuanced or polite things near the top and so on. That happens a lot. There's another one that's like the 4th or 5th one we've seen now. They get around. Yeah, and they've sprinkled the fast travel things everywhere just in case you genuinely get stuck here. I genuinely can't tell if some textures are just not loading correctly, or if that's just because this game looks that old. It's kind of strange. This is not the right place.
Sure is peaceful here.
That's an elevator to go deeper down inside. I don't think I went far enough. This is how you get to the wards. The wards, of course, being where just a bunch of people live. Living quarter type parts of the area. And that there looks a lot like a Mass Effect relay. Some sort of memorial or statue. There's number 6 or something like that. Oh, you can interact with this one.
What's it doing?
Oh, Ashley doesn't know what they are either.
Do not disturb the keepers. Please do not disturb the keepers.
Don't disturb them, huh?
Welcome to Presidium Tourism Terminal 2. You are standing near the base of the Citadel Tower, one of the Presidium's most recognizable and important structures. Behind me is the spectacular Relay Monument, a scale model representation of a Prothean mass relay. To your left is one of the Keepers, the enigmatic caretakers of the Citadel, working on a control panel. You may see Keepers involved in various tasks throughout all levels of the Citadel. We ask that you do not interfere with them in any way. The Keepers are essential to the smooth operation of the Citadel. Obstructing their daily work will result in harsh penalties, including incarceration and rehabilitation.
Tell me more about the Relay Monument.
Discovered by the Asari who first arrived at the Citadel, the Relay Monument is one of the station's most interesting and controversial features. What is the meaning behind this striking piece of art? Is it a tribute to Prothean vanity? A reminder of their conquest of the galaxy through mass relay technology? Or perhaps it is a symbol of unity, a Prothean acknowledgement that the relays would eventually lead other species here to the Citadel. No one can say for sure, making the Relay Monument a favorite topic of discussion among academics and scholars.
Tell me about the Citadel Tower.
Housing both the Council Chambers and Citadel Control, the tower is one of the most important buildings on the station. Access to these areas is restricted to those with the appropriate clearance.
What happens in Citadel Control?
Citadel Control handles all incoming and outbound transit. Every ship within 2,000 kilometers of the Citadel is under the jurisdiction of Citadel Control. At peak capacity, they are responsible for monitoring upwards of 1,000 vessels.
I'd like to hear more about the Council Chambers.
The business of the Council, which often has far-reaching effects on the galactic community, is conducted in a room at the apex of the Citadel Tower. The Council Chambers themselves are truly a magnificent sight to behold, though few get to experience the view in person. Typically, only the councilors, ambassadors, and high-ranking officials, along with various support staff, are allowed access.
What if someone has business with the Council?
The average citizen must go through the proper channels if they wish an audience with the Council. This is usually arranged through their respective ambassadors. Even then, few are given access to the actual Council chambers. In most cases, the ambassador acts on behalf of the citizen.
I'm scheduled to have an audience with the Council.
Only a handful of visitors to the Citadel are ever granted that privilege. I would be jealous, but that is outside the scope of my programming.
I'd like to know more about the Keepers.
Little is known about these peaceful servants of the Citadel, though they are essential to the operation and maintenance of the entire station. Citadel regulations protect the Keepers against interference during the performance of their tasks. Failure to comply will result in harsh penalties. Keepers can be seen in all sections of the Citadel, but are typically found in and around the tower.
Any particular reason there are so many Keepers in this area?
The Keepers do not communicate with other species. It is assumed, however, that the tower houses the Citadel's primary control systems. Many of the station's systems, such as navigation and life support, function automatically. It is believed the Keepers operate those systems from inside the tower's inaccessible core. The Keepers also make frequent appearances in the Council chamber itself, though they appear to be just passing through on their way to some other destination.
That's all for now.
Thank you for using
So how creepy is the Citadel in general? So we've established that they just found this place, and they just moved in. And it's run by little bug alien creatures that don't interact with anyone, that don't seem to communicate, and just maintain the whole place silently. And they were already doing that when we got here. Thousands of years ago. And how many thousands of years before that were they doing that? Because we don't know how old the Citadel is. It's just weird. Like, I couldn't stop thinking about it when I first started playing the game, because I'm like, what the hell is that premise? What are they doing? It's something that just you can't stop thinking about. Because they're always going to be there in the background as we go around the Citadel. Just doing something.
The Council isn't gonna ask me any questions, are they?
I doubt it. We've made our reports. Now we just have to trust Ambassador Udina.
No, we don't, sir.
So this is a sort of clever way of trying to mask a loading screen, is that they unload the area below and load a new area while you're in an elevator. Unfortunately, the elevators have fixed durations, so even when you install it to hard drives or run it on more powerful hardware, it still takes just as long. So in that way, it's not as good at masking. One cool trick, though, is that whatever characters you have in your party tend to talk to each other when you're on elevators. So you'll often hear me go quiet, just in case. Because I like to hear the little interactions, and it's a good incentive to mix up your party members and let them interact in different ways with different groups. How did Palin get here before us?
Saren's hiding something. Give me more time. Stall them.
Stall the Council? Don't be ridiculous. Your investigation is over, Garrus.
Commander Shepard, Garrus Vicarian. I was the officer in charge of the CSEC investigation into Saren.
Sounds like you really want to bring him down.
I don't trust him. Something about him rubs me the wrong way. But he's a Spectre. Everything he touches is classified. I can't find any hard evidence.
I think the Council's ready for us, Commander.
Good luck, Shepard. Maybe they'll listen to you. You don't want to keep the Council waiting.
And so we meet somebody else that's suspicious about Saren, as many people should be. Obviously Anderson will be too, because of their history. Who else has any evidence we can use?
Don't be ridiculous. The Volus won't be joining the Council for years.
I'm not so sure. The humans are making a strong push, and you can bet the Volus will be right on their coattails if they succeed.
Allowing the humans to join us is a sound strategic move. But the Volus? No. The Hanna are likely to be next, then the Elcor.
You may be right. Though the Hanar need to lighten up a bit first.
You just don't like them because you have trouble understanding them.
Oh right, the Hanar. We haven't even met them yet. Is there one around here? So I can point it out? Because we've met the Elcor and the Volus. You can't blame the Volus for wanting to join the Council. The humans just get around and join. The Volus have been around longer than the Turians have, and the Turians got in over 2,000 years ago at this point. I don't see a single Hanar anywhere, so I don't think I'm going to be able to point that out for now. But there's another Keeper, just being creepy. But it's just sitting there, which is weird. They've all looked busy so far. Is it wearing an apron? It's a strange sight. There's someone that's named Rear Admiral
No, I'm waiting
Kahoko.
to speak with one of the Councilor's assistants. Commander?
He does not want to talk right now. There's another one over there. They're everywhere. Let's head on up. After all, you don't want to leave the Council waiting.
The hearing's already started. Come on.
They let me keep my weapons?
The Geth attack is a matter of some concern, but there is nothing to indicate Saren was involved in any way.
The investigation by Citadel Security turned up no evidence to support your charge of treason.
An eyewitness saw him kill Nihilus in cold blood.
We've read the Eden Prime reports, Ambassador. The testimony of one traumatized dock worker is hardly compelling proof.
I resent these accusations. Nihilus was a fellow Spectre and a friend.
That just let you catch him off guard.
Captain Anderson, you always seem to be involved when humanity makes false charges against me. And this must be your protege, Commander Shepard, the one who let the beacon get destroyed.
The mission to Eden Prime was top secret. The only way you could know about the beacon was if you were there.
With Nihilus gone, his files passed on to me. I read the Eden Prime report. I was unimpressed. But what can you expect from a human?
Saren despises humanity. That's why he attacked Eden Prime.
Your species needs to learn its place, Shepard. You're not ready to join the Council. You're not even ready to join the Spectres.
He has no right to say that. That's not his decision.
Shepard's admission into the Spectres is not the purpose of this meeting.
This meeting has no purpose. The humans are wasting your time, Counselor, and mine.
You can't hide behind the Council forever.
There is still one outstanding issue. Commander Shepard's vision. It may have been triggered by the beacon.
Are we allowing dreams into evidence now? How can I defend my innocence against this kind of testimony?
I agree. Our judgment must be based on facts and evidence, not wild imaginings and reckless speculation.
Do you have anything else to add, Commander Shepard?
You've made your decision. I won't waste my breath.
The Council has found no evidence of any connection between Saren and the Geth. Ambassador, your petition to have him disbarred from the Spectres is denied.
I'm glad to see justice was served.
This meeting is adjourned.
It was a mistake bringing you into that hearing, Captain. You and Saren have too much history. It made the Council question our motives.
I know Saren. He's working with the Geth for one reason: to exterminate the entire human race. Every colony we have is at risk. Every world we control is in danger. Even Earth isn't safe.
Tell me about this history between you and Saren.
I worked with him on a mission a long time ago. Things went bad. Real bad. We shouldn't talk about this here. But I know what he's like, and he has to be stopped.
What's our next step?
As a Spectre, he's virtually untouchable. We need to find some way to expose him.
What about Garrus, that CSEC investigator? We saw him arguing with the Executor.
That's right. He was asking for more time to finish his report. Seems like he was close to finding something on Saren.
Any idea where we could find him?
I have a contact in CSEC who can help us track Garrus down. His name is Harkin.
Forget it. They suspended Harkin last month, drinking on the job. I won't waste my time with that loser.
You won't have to. I don't want the Council using your past history with Saren as an excuse to ignore anything we turn up. Shepard will handle this.
You can't just cut Captain Anderson out of this investigation.
The Ambassador's right. I need to step aside.
I need to take care of some business. Captain, meet me in my office later.
Harkin's probably getting drunk at Cora's Den. It's a dingy little club in the lower section of the wards.
Maybe there's another way to find evidence against Saren.
You should talk to Ballard over in the financial district. Rumor has it he's an agent for the Shadow Broker.
The Shadow Broker?
An information dealer. Buys and sells secrets to the highest bidder. I've heard Ballard one of the top representatives. He might know something about Saren, but his information won't come cheap.
You and Saren have a history. What happened?
About 20 years ago, I was part of a mission in the Skillian Verge. I was working with Saren to find and remove a known terrorist threat. Saren eliminated his target, but a lot of people died along the way. innocent people. And the official records just covered it all up. But I saw how he operates. No conscience. No hesitation. He'd kill 1,000 innocent civilians to end a war without a second thought.
Killing innocents doesn't end wars. It causes them.
I know how the world works, Commander. Sometimes you're forced to make unpleasant decisions. But only if there's no other way. Saren doesn't even look for another option. He's twisted, broken. He likes the violence, the killing. And he knows how to cover his tracks.
So I've actually read the book that's based on what he's talking about. I think it's called Mass Effect Ascension, I think. The Mass Effect books are unfortunately kind of infamous for being terribly written, to the point, especially with a lot of like contradicting each other and having massive plot holes, or just directly ignoring facts established about characters and events that are established in the other books or even in the game itself, and they kind of stop making sense at some point. But in Mass Effect Ascension, I don't actually remember what their mission was exactly, but basically Saren, in order to achieve his goal, ends up blowing up an entire factory that was filled with people. And he technically accomplished what he was there for, but he took out an entire facility that was filled with people that did not deserve to die. He is great.
Tell me more about the Shadow Broker.
He's a necessary evil of galactic politics. Buying and selling information is a part of the game, and the Shadow Broker just happens to be the best player on the field. Always sells to the highest bidder. Doesn't get involved in politics, doesn't pick sides. A simple system, but it works. He's not a threat to anyone, not directly. He's just a resource we can use, or she is. Or maybe they are. Nobody really knows.
Tell me about Barla Vaughn.
He specializes in moving large sums of money without leaving a paper trail. A financial genius, doesn't do anything illegal, but he knows all the loopholes. He's got an impressive client list. Ambassadors, diplomats, specters. That's probably why the Shadow Broker uses him.
I want to know more about the Spectres.
They're not your typical government agency. They tend to work alone, behind the scenes. They take care of problems the Council can't. It's not easy preserving peace across an entire galaxy. The Council prefers to use diplomacy and negotiation. But sometimes more extreme measures are needed.
What happens when a Spectre goes rogue, like Saren?
It doesn't happen often. The Council is careful when they select their candidates. But when something does go wrong, there's usually only one solution. Send another Spectre to bring the rogue agent down.
They sound like shadow operatives.
Everything about them is classified. We don't even know how many there are. The latest Alliance estimate puts their numbers under 100. But the Council couldn't do its job without them. They're the Citadel's top agents, the last line of defense, the final option before open war. The entire galaxy respects and fears them. If a Spectre shows up, you know something big is about to happen.
How do they decide who becomes a Spectre?
You can't just apply to join. There's no training program. Spectres aren't made. They're born. The Council's always looking for exceptional individuals, people who can get the job done, like you. They've been watching you for years. They see something in you. They want you on their side. Nihilus was supposed to give them a final recommendation, but with him gone, things are still up in the air.
Well, Spectres are made. It's just that you're more or less made who you are before you become a Spectre.
What's their command structure like?
There is no command structure. Each Spectre answers directly to the Council. Sometimes they're sent on specific missions. Other times, they act on their own. They tend to operate outside the law, do whatever it takes to accomplish their goals. The Council just turns a blind eye. Spectres have a lot of power, Shepard.
You don't think much of Harkin.
The guy joined CSEC about 20 years ago. He's been an embarrassment to our species ever since. Roughing up suspects in custody, bribery accusations, alcohol and drug use. The embassy used to step in when he got in trouble. But I guess enough was enough.
Holy shit, embarrassment to our species. I guess it sounds more like I guess it sounds more severe because I live in normal modern life where species is literally the entire existence of sentient life that we are aware of. But in this case, we're talking about literally the context of our group versus other groups, and he's embarrassing us in front of the other groups that are all around us. So it's probably slightly less severe than it feels normally to say that.
Guy's a scumbag. He should have been cut loose a long time ago.
He was one of the first human C-Sec officers. Guess it would have looked bad if he got fired. A lot of backroom deals were worked out over the years to keep him on the force. Politics is a dirty business sometimes, but it looks like his time's run out. We've got enough humans in C-Sec now to stop protecting him.
Our ambassador doesn't seem to get along with the Council.
He's just frustrated. The Council's always preaching that we need to be part of the galactic community. But for them, it's a one-way street. They want us to expand and settle unstable regions like the Skillian Verge and the Attican Traverse. But when we run into trouble, they don't want to help us out. Everyone knows it's only a matter of time until we get a seat on the Council. The ambassador just thinks it should happen sooner rather than later. And I agree.
Who cares if we get a seat on the Council? What's the big deal?
If the Council passes a ruling on an interstellar matter, we have to follow it. We don't have the fleets or political allies to defy them. Once we get a seat on the Council, we'll be able to influence those rulings, protect our own interests. No more jumping through hoops whenever we want something. Take this mess we're in now. If humanity had a seat on the Council, we'd just send the Citadel fleet out to take care of Saren and his Geth. Problem solved.
I should go.
Good luck, Shepard. I'll be over in the ambassador's office if you need anything else.
So, mad props to Keith David for being an all-star voice actor. A lot of actors, when they get into video games and stuff, just completely phone it in. Either because they don't take the job seriously, because like, oh, it's a video game, whatever. That's like talking, that's like a commercial, right? That's how a lot of actors approach that kind of role. Or they just suck at it. Acting entirely through your voice is not easy, and a lot of actors that you might even think... Oh, what are you reacting to, Caden? There's a lot of actors out there that you might think are pretty good actors, but if you listen to them with your eyes closed, not all of that emotion that they convey it doesn't always reach their voice. A lot of it can be in their face and stuff like that, and so when forced to just use your voice exclusively, it doesn't always go as far. It can be hard.
Ask a couple of questions. Commander?
Nope. Kind of thought he might have something pop up afterwards.
That guy's up to something.
What guy?
But yeah,
The one over by the Keeper.
Everything that Keith David's in, he's just fantastic. Is that guy's head freaking out? Yes, it is. Okay. This backwards compatibility thing might be not entirely perfect.
What? Oh, no, I wasn't. Never mind. Yes, is there something you want?
Dangerous. It's illegal to interact with the Keepers, and you're doing it right in the middle of the Council chamber. That seems like a big risk.
Why are you so interested in the Keepers?
Keepers? I've got no interest in the
Don't get coy. I know what I saw.
I'm not so sure I should be talking to you about this.
We're just talking. Is there something wrong with that?
No. I guess it wouldn't hurt to tell you. I'm using a small scanner to gather readings on the Keepers. So far I've had mixed results. I find it difficult to get near the creatures.
Why were you being so secretive about it, though?
Well, technically we're not supposed to disturb the Keepers. I don't really think my scanning disturbs them, but the authorities might disagree. I'd like to do it more openly, but it's not really worth getting arrested over.
I can help you out. I'm not worried about the authorities.
I don't even know who you are.
I'm Commander Shepard with the Alliance military.
Well, I suppose I could use the help. You'll need this. It's the scanning device I developed. Activate it each time you see a Keeper. All collected data will automatically upload to my database. I'll even send a few credits your way for each unique scan.
What are you doing with the data once you've scanned it?
Trying to learn whatever I can about the Keepers. We see them working everywhere, yet we know so little about them. I'm a scientist. I want to know what makes them tick.
I should get going then.
Yes, I have much work myself. So long, and good luck with the scanning.
It's worth questioning. They're weird. I mean, we've been over why they're weird. They're running this whole place, but they're just weird mystery creatures that just hang out around here. I might do some off-camera scanning where I get a bunch of them between recording sessions or something, because it's kind of a boring quest. You just walk around and click on all the keepers in the entire Citadel, basically. And as you've noticed, they're everywhere. And I think that having you scan them all one by one is supposed to reinforce the feeling of, wow, they're everywhere. Which makes the whole thing feel so off-putting in the first place. But at this point, I think we're just going to head right back out where we were and see if we can follow up on any of the leads we had back there. Look at that. They still have fountains in space. It's not just humans, apparently. Apparently other people are amused by water just flying in the air.
I can't believe the Council ignored all the evidence against Saren.
Saren's one of their best operatives. It's only natural they'd take his word over ours.
Oh, so now we just chase leads while this smug Turian runs around with his Geth troopers.
That's politics, Chief.
I hate politics.
You probably should. Everyone probably should. It's kind of agony, although necessary to some extent. I mean, at least the basic concept of politics, not necessarily how they're carried out, but you kind of have to do what's being... You have to have people get together and talk, or nothing happens. And I'm just going to be eerily scanning people for a little while here, apparently. Please do not disturb the keepers. So this is the beacon... What do they call it? Replica? Statue? I forgot the word that that Avina used for it. Kind of brings the whole place together, the way it's centered like that. Although it's not as big as you'd expect it to be. You kind of would expect it to, like, fill the whole place up to an extent. Not so much. So this is our chance to kind of wander around and explore a little bit. Eventually I'll be skipping around a lot, but at this beginning part I think I should show the continuity of moving from one place to another throughout the area. There's Ballard. We've heard so much about you recently.
What's this? One of the Earth Clan? Ah, a very famous one, yes? You are the one called Shepard. The tale of how you survived the great tragedy on Akuz is truly remarkable. I am amazed each time I hear it.
You've got me at a disadvantage here.
Forgive me, Earth Clan. My name is Ballard. My job makes it necessary for me to keep informed. I am a financial advisor to many important clients here on the Citadel. When someone as important as yourself arrives on the station, I take notice.
I heard you work for the Shadow Broker. Do you have any information about Saren?
You're very blunt, Shepard. But you're right. I am an agent for the Shadow Broker. And I do know something about Saren.
I hear your information can be expensive.
Normally, this information would cost a small fortune. But these are exceptional circumstances. So I am going to give it to you for free.
What's the catch?
There is no catch. The Shadow Broker is quite upset with Saren right now. They used to do a lot of business until Saren turned on him.
Saren betrayed him. Imagine that.
No matter what you think of Saren, he's not stupid. He knows the Shadow Broker is a valuable ally. Turning on him doesn't make sense. Not unless something huge was at stake. I don't know the details, but the Shadow Broker hired a freelancer to deal with it. A Krogan mercenary.
That's not much to go on.
I just told you that the most famous Spectre in the galaxy betrayed the Shadow Broker. Quite a bargain, considering the price. Speak with the Krogan if you want to learn more. I heard he was paying a visit to Citadel security. If you hurry, you might catch him before he leaves the academy.
Isn't it strange that a Krogan would want to speak with C-Sec?
Very. However, I doubt the visit was entirely his choice. You'll need to speak with him if you want to know more.
So we've got another alien name. On top of the previous one we heard about in the Citadel, now we've got Krogans. That's another thing I've got to try to go and find and point out. Although I think this one will be pretty self-explanatory since it's necessary for the story.
Tell me more about your job.
Galactic finance is incredibly complex. A mix of laws and regulations from dozens of interstellar economies. I'm an expert in how all these economies interact. For a fee, I share my expertise. I also offer premium services for those clients who need someone to conduct business without drawing unwanted attention. Discreet and efficient. That's my motto.
Sounds pretty shady.
Everything I do falls completely within the bounds of interstellar commerce law. Even so, many of my clients would prefer their transactions remain undisclosed. For example, suppose a Hanar ambassador was petitioning the Council to reduce tariffs on Hanar goods. How would it look if he had money invested in a Hanar exporting company? Even if his true motives were to help his people, he would be accused of advancing the petition for his own personal gain. I can keep his personal finances private.
Still sounds shady to me.
Then we can only hope he will never be cursed with a large enough fortune to require my services.
What's it like living here on the Citadel?
The station is without a doubt the greatest wonder in the galaxy. It is a technological marvel, but its true splendor goes much deeper than the hull and engines. From the Presidium to the wards, the entire station is a testament to the success of the Council. All the species of Citadel spaced together in a single, strong community.
What makes the Presidium so special?
It is the political center of Citadel space. 80% of all intelligent species in the known galaxy acknowledge the Council's authority on interstellar matters. But only the most powerful and influential species have embassies here on the Presidium. This level of the station is reserved for the elite, Shepard. People like us.
What are the wards like?
The cultural heart of the galaxy. They pulse with the lifeblood of millions of citizens from dozens of different species. You never know what you'll find out in the wards, Commander. It's always full of surprises. Fortunately, most of them are pleasant.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Well, there we go. We've been given hints about this shadow broker, shadowy figure that seems to be someone that no one can identify. No one knows who exactly they are, but they're apparently powerful because they have so many connections. And they just did us a freebie, apparently. There's a Hanar. There we go. They're freaky. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's basically a jellyfish monster. The Hanar.
Ah, human. This one is greatly pleased to see you here in my decadent emporium.
Who are you?
This one's face name is Delaninder, though many in this place simply refer to it as Delan. Please take time to examine the fine goods it has for purchase, all of great worth.
Why do you refer to yourself as this one and it?
For the same reason that humans are so inquisitive. It is part of our culture. Specifically, Hanar only refer to themselves in the first person with family or intimates. And we rarely do so with other species. It is just our way.
What exactly do you sell?
Only the finest and most luxurious items that credits can buy. This one is able to procure almost any item the human would desire, for a price, naturally.
Who are you?
Whoopsie. My bad.
I think I'll be going.
Return soon.
Minor accident there.
This one receives new shipments regularly.
So what does he sell exactly? Because I don't remember.
Commander, It is good to see you again. Would you care to see some of its fantastic items today?
Show me your items.
Oh, this one is pleased to do so, human. You will not be disappointed.
So here they sell upgrades, standard items, and non-human armors. So it's a worthwhile place to check out. So anti-personnel rounds, that's bonus damage against organic enemies. Then you have this poison over time damage. And then toxic resistance. So basic series of setups. Actually don't even know. Yeah, I don't even have upgrades equipped right now, so it's not really fitting. Because I think I already have my own upgrades I haven't even checked through yet, but I could make my rounds later if I want to buy various upgrades. Let's take a look around this place. This is the back room. Okay, yeah, I'm a little convinced that some of these textures are just not loading right now. Interesting. Oh, there's one. But this is a dead end for now. Unfortunately, you can't. I don't think you can move much faster. You can hold A to go to this camera, which is normally how you sprint, but I don't think you move any faster in this case. There's another Ravina. And, oh, another keeper. Didn't actually check this path correctly. Does this go somewhere? Here we go. Staircase. I could check my map, but there's a lot of just paths you can kind of check out around here. This one looks like it's going to loop back to... Yep, where we were before. That should be this. That should be the council chambers over there, where we've been already. Seriously, it starts to get weird how they're just everywhere all the time. Nalinia. So this is somewhere new.
Welcome, I am Nalina. I don't recognize you as one of our expected clients today. Would you like me to see when the consort will be able to meet with you?
Can't I just go in?
I'm afraid not. Yeah, you must understand there are many who seek the consort services. But if you wish to leave your name, she'll make every effort to meet with you.
Commander Shepard, with the Alliance Navy.
Excellent. You should hear something in, 3 or 4 months.
Nobody's worth that much of a wait.
Well, that's not for me to judge. I have your name and you'll be contacted. Is there anything else?
What is the consort? What does she do?
It's difficult to explain. She's many things to many people, and something different for each. Some seek her for advice, some for entertainment, others still for pleasure. Most of the time, our clients won't realize what they were seeking until after she has provided it for them.
You make her sound like some kind of oracle.
No, not in the usual sense. She's merely a woman with remarkable compassion and a generous spirit. I suggest you make an appointment and see for yourself.
What do you do here, Nalina?
I'm one of the consort's acolytes. Many of the people here today will not see the consort, but they expect to be attended to just the same. It's our job to ensure that they leave contented.
What exactly do you attend to?
Well, each acolyte has her unique abilities. Some soothe with song, others with conversation. As much as possible, we seek to match the needs of our clients to the skills of our acolytes. My specialty is touch. My fingertips can find every tension point in your body and relieve it.
I'd like to try out your services.
Excellent. I'll add you to our client list. We should be able to see you in 3 or 4 months.
I think I'm done here.
Oh, well, I hope you'll return again in the future. We always enjoy seeing new clients.
Nalina.
Yes, Shaira?
Send the commander up to see me. I wish to speak with her.
Yes, of course, mistress. Huh. It appears the consort has taken notice of you. She'd like to meet with you now.
Where do I go?
Just head upstairs. She'll be waiting for you.
Bit of a surprise given the amount of time it's supposed to take to meet up with these people. And they are everywhere in here. Is that a Salarian consort? I guess that's the color they all wear, right? So I think the implication there is that the Salarian is part of the group. Interesting. I kind of lost track of that. I kind of thought they were all Asari. Nope, there's a human. Never mind. That's my own memory then.
This is my first time. I can't believe I didn't come sooner.
Welcome. It is a pleasure to see you.
They're just everywhere.
You're with the Alliance? My brother's a private back on Earth.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I recognize that voice actor from, like, Nickelodeon cartoons or something. Something about that stood out like crazy.
That is close enough, Commander. I've heard a great many things about you since your arrival here in our citadel.
What exactly do you do?
That depends on your needs. I offer advice to some, comfort to others. I have a certain problem that could use your expertise.
Tell me about this problem you're having.
I have a friend, Septimus, a retired Turian general. I won't discuss the details, but he wanted me to be more than I could be. We had a falling out. Now he spends his days in Korra's den, drinking and spreading lies about me. If you would speak to him as a fellow soldier, I believe he will listen to you and let the matter be.
What happened between you?
I respect his privacy too much to go into the details. If he wishes to tell you what happened, that is his prerogative.
I don't make any promises, but I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Commander. That is all I can ask. Appeal to his sense of honor. Remind him of his position as a general. If you can convince him to stop spreading lies about me, I would be very grateful. Now I must ask you to take your leave. I have many clients waiting to see me.
Sure, but what about the Elcor?
Please, Commander. I ask that you return to me only after you have spoken with Septimus.
So if I want to talk to her about the Elcor, it seems that I need to deal with Septimus first. Because there's an Elcor that seems to be freaking out about the Oracle. The consort. But it seems outside of, much like the Shadow Broker and Saren situation, it seems like it'd be unwise for them to behave in such a way for the sake of their own jobs. So why would the Oracle be spreading rumors about anybody, really? Unless it got out in some other way that even they don't fully understand. So this will lead me back towards CSEC, which is one of the locations we're supposed to head towards next. Yeah, that was not worth clicking on. It tells me where it's going to go when I just highlight it by walking near it. There's even actually symbols on the walls to help indicate which thing's which. So I believe that's the embassy symbol. No, that's CSEC. Okay. That's the wards. That's Citadel Tower, which actually physically resembles the tower. And I believe you actually get to CSEC by going under here. Is there somebody around here? Nope. I think we can actually just wind back around. One advantage of holding A to run like this is actually that you can move and rotate without using the camera. Normally right stick controls the camera, but if you move like this, it's kind of tank controls where you just lean and it'll adapt itself, but it's kind of freaking out when I'm hitting geometry.
In light of the recent attack on Eden Prime, many colonial investors are pulling their support for future projects. Proponents of expanded human colonization insist that Eden Prime was an isolated case. Nevertheless, colonist enrollment has dropped sharply. Many colonial proposals are on hold until backers have some reassurance that human colonies will be adequately protected.
Good luck. You gotta tell everyone that, otherwise, no one's gonna want to settle in all the areas that the humans are trying to settle in. As the newcomers, they have to settle out on the edges of council space, which puts them at the highest risk to outsiders. Because as they said earlier, only 80% of aliens are willingly participating with the council which is a good majority, but that still leaves people that don't agree with the council, and they're going to be outside of council space